The 2018 Queensland Regional Art Awards have been announced, and this year 8 regional Queensland artists have been recognised for their work, and one Central Queensland artist has been recognised for her work, taking out a major prize. Erin Dunne has been announced as the $10,000 Holding Redlich and Flying Arts Art for Life Award winner in recognition of her Destination Duaringa work. Erin, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Jackie.
It's an awesome achievement. So can you explain for us what the work is? Can you describe it?
Sure. So it takes the physical form of an artist book, and it's an adaptation of a traditional travel journal. So a traditional travel journal would be a collection of written anecdotes and recounting travel experiences. So my book is a visual recollection of those experiences. So to get the subject matter for the book, I went out to Duaringa and I booked a night at the Duaringa Motel and stayed for 2 days and explored the town. And so the book itself consists of a really long amalgamation of different pencil drawings of all the things I saw and the things I did and the people I met.
This is an interesting way of you going about this, though, because you're from that area.
I am from that area. So the theme this year for the Queensland Regional Art Awards was Wanderlust, which means just a desire to travel. And we were encouraged to either travel somewhere new or revisit somewhere that was familiar to us, that we had a connection to. And I thought that was the thing that really interested me. And I racked my brains and thought, about where I would go. And I thought also about Mum and Dad's cattle property. I thought about travelling back there. And I thought about making work about Rocky as well, because I've been living here for a few years now and making work about Rocky. But when I really thought about it and boiled it all down, Duaringa, I just couldn't go past Duaringa. I thought it represented something unique, because when people are travelling along the Capricorn Highway, I think they see Duaringa more as a stop in transit, while you pull up on the way from A to B. Whereas I thought it would be interesting to make it the final destination. So hence the title, Destination Duaringa.
In a way, did this allow you to see basically your own hometown with fresh eyes?
It certainly did, because I think when I was in Duaringa, I was very young. I was attending Duaringa State Primary School, and then I would have been back in town on weekends and things for extracurricular activities and sport and stuff like that, but never as a young adult, because I had to go away to boarding school because we lived on a cattle property. And then in latter years, since moving back to Rocky, I've done a lot of driving past Duaringa and stopping for fuel at the BP and the odd steak sandwich, which locals will know are very good. But I've never, ever been to Duaringa without an errand to run or a task to do. When I got there, I sort of realised that it was a strange feeling not to be compelled to go somewhere straight away. And I had all of this time on my hands and sort of thought, what am I going to do? But I managed to fill the time quite quickly, actually. It was great.
And the works are just beautiful. So they're sketches.
They are. They're pencil drawings. And I was trying to achieve a bit of a balance between some really highly realistically rendered ones. So there's some portraits of my dad in there, because Dad came in and sort of just spontaneously, he was in there on the day and he offered to take me around, and he ended up being my tour guide for a few hours. So there's some sketches of Dad behind the wheel and eating some chips with me at the BP, because that's a must do on any trip to Duaringa, absolutely. And then there are some more sketchy ones that are very loose, and I think in a sense that reflects the notion of memory, because Duaringa is a place of many memories for me, and the way that memories fade over time. So that's something I was trying to balance in that approach.
You're with ABC Capricornia, and Erin Dunne is with you now, and she's one of the winners of the Queensland Regional Art Awards. It's just been announced. And Erin, you have had a very successful year in art this year, and it was a brave move for you because you gave up teaching full-time in order to pursue your art. How's it going?
It's going really well, thanks, Jackie. I appreciate you saying it's brave, because it was scary, and I taught for 3 years full-time, and I think probably most days during that time, while I really loved teaching, I was going backwards and forwards in my head about whether to continue teaching or to do really my first love and what I trained for, which was being an artist. So I did make the big plunge at the end of last year, and I think, so probably to my surprise, it's paid off really well. So there have been a number of positives, and I think the most important one would be the flexibility with time. So I've been able to make the time to travel to exhibitions all around Queensland, right up to Townsville, right down to southeast Queensland. And from meeting people at those exhibitions and doing workshops with practicing artists that I really respect, I've had opportunities for things like works being curated into exhibitions, and I'd never had anything like that before. So I think, the biggest plus to come from quitting teaching has been the flexibility with time.
And so winning an award like this, which of course is a monetary gain, which is great, but what does it mean in terms of recognition?
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the money, but that there are other things. And I think the money is lovely, but actually the other intangible things that come from the award are possibly more important to me personally and artistically. So I think there's a validation and a recognition of the work itself, which is really encouraging because it's 3 of the judges and I know of their exhibition practices as curators and commercial gallerists, and I really respect what they do. So that means a lot to have the recognition from people in your sector. The other thing I think it offers is acknowledgement that I made the right decision in quitting teaching. I'm not that I would have needed an award to make me feel like I'd made the right decision, because I think personally, I know when I wake up in the morning, I never have any qualms about, going into the studio and doing a long, hard day of work. It's not really even work. So I know I made the right decision, but that acknowledgement is nice. And then the final thing that it offers is a kind of stepping stone to opportunities that might have been previously out of grasp for me. So I guess, not that I want to reduce it to a line on a CV, but cumulatively, when you put these kinds of experiences on a CV and curators who are judging competitions see your work, they start to notice. And so eventually, when you are ready to approach people, you have that, they have an awareness of you already. So the award means a lot.
Well, congratulations again. We're very proud of you. And if people would like to see some of your work, we'll pop it up on the ABC Capricornia Facebook page as well, so you can have a look. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very much, Jackie.